is the NBA on NBC. The 1992 NBA Finals. Tonight, Game 6 between the Portland Trailblazers and the Chicago Bulls.
A pleasant and potentially historic Sunday night in Chicago. The 243rd consecutive sellout at Chicago Stadium, and none of the 18,676 here expect to be back on Wednesday night. Instead, tonight, they look for the final affirmation of what 67 regular season victories and a tough but thus far successful playoff run have indicated. For the second year in a row, this is the finest basketball team in the world. Again, everyone, I'm Bob Costas. Welcome to Chicago Stadium for Game 6. This is the Larry O'Brien Trophy, named for the late NBA commissioner and emblematic of the league's championship. The Chicago Bulls get to keep it for another year with a victory tonight, or for that matter on Wednesday night, if Portland can force a Game 7. To deny them, the Trailblazers would have to accomplish one of the great turnarounds in basketball history. Because while they trail just 3 games to 2, the fact is, for the most part, the Blazers have been clearly outplayed. The Bulls have now held the lead 83% of the time in this series. And although Portland did manage to win 1 game at home, the Trailblazers, who had been 8-0 there against other playoff competition, held the lead, get this, just 7.5 of 144 minutes of basketball in Portland, and that's on their own floor. To win the title, they've got to turn it up several notches on the world champions court. It's possible, sure, but all signs are positive for Chicago, including Michael Jordan's condition. For more on that, we go courtside to Marv and Mike. Marvelous.
All right, Bob, and the story on Michael Jordan, who concluded Game 5 on Friday night with an injured thigh and a twisted left ankle. He hurt the ankle when he fell into a photographer along the baseline on Friday night. This on the follow-through of his jump shot. Now, he has played through a number of injuries through the playoffs, and he told us moments ago that he is okay for tonight.
Marv, the nagging injuries have been a problem, and stamina during the fourth quarter a point of concern. But the bottom line is Michael Jordan is having an incredible playoff series. Averaging over 36 points per game, he has moved into the 4th position of highest scoring average in a championship series. And as a result, is well on his way to winning a 2nd straight Finals MVP.
Now, the last 3 games, the Bulls have exploded right at the start. They have gotten off to very fast starts, and with the Bulls back home and the crowd such a factor here, you know that a quick start by Chicago is a major concern of the Trailblazers.
Well, this Portland team has shown its resiliency. They bounced back from a 33-point loss in Game 1, then in Game 2, down 10 points with 4.5 minutes remaining. They found a way to win in overtime. But if they're to have a chance this evening, they must avoid the early game deficits and foul trouble they had in their 3 home games. And let's keep in mind that in Games 1 and 2 in this building, the stadium, they did get off to a very good start, played very well early in the game.
So for the Portland Trailblazers, the season is on the line as we close in on Game 6 of this best of 7. Back with the introductions of the starting lineups in a moment.
Want more from a sport utility? Test drive the all-wheel drive Subaru Outback. More ground clearance than a Ford Explorer Sport. More cargo space than a Jeep Cherokee. More miles per gallon than any leading midsize SUV. Add a smooth car-like ride and you have a sport utility with a whole lot more. Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon. Get financing as low as 2.9% APR on all 2001 models.
This is it. The collection you've been waiting for is finally here. Easy Rock. Over 2 hours of pure mellow gold on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes. You can order this collection online at MusicSpace.com.
If you like pina coladas, getting caught in the rain, busted.
Every hit on Easy Rock has that perfect pop sound that topped the charts and ruled the airwaves.
Still away. Why don't we still away?
this 32-track collection in any store.
There's a warm wind blowing, the stars around, and I'd really love to see it tonight. Buy me a ticket on.
There has never been a collection like Easy Rock, and these songs sound better than ever.
Baby, what a big surprise. Rock and shout in the city. Never gonna let you go. I'm gonna hold you in my arms forever.
Why wait? Order this collection by Rush Delivery.
Dancing in the dark, walking through the park and reminiscing. I wanna kiss you all over.
It feels so right. Get Easy Rock now. To order, have your credit card ready and call the number on your screen or log on to MusicSpace.com. Rush Delivery available.
The Emmy and Peabody award-winning sports century, The Top 50 and Beyond, has done it again. A second Emmy win for the series Critics Call. Arguably the most comprehensive sports documentaries ever pieced together. You know what made them heroes.
He just never messed with Rocky Marciano.
We show you what made them human.
He drank. He chased girls.
You'll only see the award-winning sports century on ESPN Classic. Every weeknight at 8 Eastern and Pacific.
You're watching Classic Michael Jordan, 19 hours of Jordan's greatest games and moments featuring highlights, analysis, and all 6 of his NBA championships right here on ESPN Classic.
It is a beautiful 86-degree day in the windy city of Chicago, and indoors it is heating up. Although the Portland Trailblazers have other thoughts on the matter, Chicago fans looking to tonight as a coronation of the champion Bulls, so the home club will be greeted with hysteria. Here is the public address announcer, Ray Clay.
To the Chicago Stadium. Tonight, Game 6 of the NBA Finals is between the Portland Trailblazers and your Chicago Bulls. Now for tonight's lineup. First for the visiting Portland Trailblazers, and forward from Maryland, 6'8", Buck Williams. The 6'7" forward from Longwood College, Jerome Kersey.
was a stirring scene in Chicago during the introduction of the lineups. Now to a man who has made it back to the Midwest from his hometown of Portland after doing a nice job for the Chamber of Commerce. Here's Ahmad Rashad.
Thanks, Marv. I also love Chicago. Now, you would think with all the pressure on the Portland Trailblazers that their locker room would be a little bit uptight. That was not the case. It was very loose. I talked to Clyde Drexler. He said the reason that we're so loose is we feel like this. We've only won 2 games in this series, but we have not played our best basketball. Hopefully we can do it tonight. In the other locker room on the Bulls side, the only thing they talk about, the only thing that was missing last year when we won the championship was we won it away from home. That will change. Not only will we win the championship here at home, we will also win it tonight.
All right, Ahmad, and no team in NBA history has ever come back from a 3-2 deficit in the finals by winning the last 2 games on the road. The trailing team has come back 5 times to win in 7 games, but never with 2 road victories. And now, for the ceremonial opening tip, receiving an ovation from the crowd, one-time Chicago Bull, Bob Butterbean Love, the second all-time Bull scorer behind Michael Jordan. Bob Love played for the Bulls from 1968 through 1976. And hearing it from the crowd, it's Tom Bullwinkle, one-time Bulls teammate, giving him thumbs up. Tom is a member of the Bulls broadcast crew. The officials, Ed T. Rush, Mike Mathis, and Hugh Evans. Ron Kersey and Horace Grant on the opening tip, and John Paxson controls for the Bulls.
We want to look early to see if there are any unusual matchups taking place defensively for Portland. Right now, it looks like they're trying to go straight up. A switch now has put Porter on Pippen immediately.
Cartwright looking to go right at Duckworth. Yes. And Porter met by Paxson. Porter beating Paxson, but he missed the layup. Rebounded by Duckworth. And Porter looking to get into it early, and he's called for the offensive foul. Terry Porter has struggled to get his shots. The other night, in Game 5, he went 0 for his first 6 before he was able to hit.
And when you lose your confidence, you have a tough time making decisions. This should have been a pull-up right there, about the 10-foot marker. Pull up and shoot that in-between jumper. Cartwright was planted the entire time.
And recall the previous game, Game 4, Porter was able to manage only 7 shots from the floor. Pippen worked off the pick. Cartwright open. Moves down.
Portland trying to come out of the gates quickly to avoid the early deficits they had in the last 3 games and then stay out of foul trouble, the other point of concern.
But the Blazers have opened up with some poor shots. Pippen had it broken up by Williams. And it will be Portland ball. Last touch by Pippen.
The veteran official Eddie Rush making the signal one way and then realizing that he had pointed the wrong way. Enough presence, confidence, okay, and the fact that he's been around so long. You change it. You make it right if it's wrong and you have a chance to do it.
Kersey played by Pippen. Goes to the alley-oop. Cartwright hits the floor and deflected it out of bounds. So the Blazers 0 for their first 5.
You sit on the other side.
Oh, what a play by Pippen. And he was able to deflect it. No, apparently not. He stepped out before he deflected off Kersey, and Portland maintains possession.
I think Mike Mathis is saying that Pippen was out of bounds when he touched the basketball. Therefore, the possession goes over to Portland. Out of bounds, on the line, possession Portland.
Here's Porter. Rebounded by Cartwright. So Terry Porter, in his opening minute and 45, has matched his shots attempted as Paxson was able to take the pass from Pippen. Beat his man along the baseline for a 4-0 Chicago lead. Here's Porter. And Terry Porter has come out firing away. I started to say he had only 3 shots at the half on Friday night. That was his 4th attempt, although with the foul, he will go to the line. Horace Grant called for the personal.
Obviously, you can see that Terry Porter has come out and himself tried to change his whole thing around, trying to get his team off to a quick start. He feels he cannot be the laid-back guard that just distributes right now. Someone needs to step forward. Problem could be if too many guys try to do it at the same time. They have to have the right blend and understanding of who's got it going and who doesn't.
Over the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, Terry Porter was magnificent. He averaged 23 points. He shot 53%. Hit 34 of 65 from three-point land. He scored 30 or more 4 times over those first 3 rounds, but it's been a different story against the Bulls.
You can see Portland extending its defense, trying to put the pressure out there. It's a straight matchup. Point guard against point guard, big guard against big guard, small forward, small forward. I think the key will be Kersey's ability to guard Pippen. That's their area of concern.
Right, won't count. And Rush with the call against Duckworth. Duckworth called for the elbow on Cartwright. So Pippen will throw in. The Bulls 4 and the Blazers 2 were just underway. Scottie Pippen coming off a very strong performance on Friday night. Kersey putting the move on Jordan. Kersey with the tip. And he's tied the game at 4.
Phil Jackson mentioned to us earlier today that one of the areas of concern, the ability of Portland to put it on the floor, to steal, and now the slam dunk by Kersey. He gets 3 or 4 of those a game just because he has the ability to run out and fill a lane.
And the Blazers take a 6-4 lead. Portland came out intent on not allowing Chicago to get off to the blistering start.
It's the extra effort and the athleticism of Kersey that enables him to, yeah, was it a bad shot off balance? Right, but then he corrects it by following it back up on the offensive boards.
Portland foul was called on Buck Williams. Good defense by the combination of Kersey and Porter, but it's turned over by Kersey. It is a double dribble.
As Jerome tried to bust out of the pack, after the deflection takes place, the good hands there by Porter gets a piece. Kersey comes up with the steal. Now, as he gets going, he takes it, picks it up, puts it right hand to left hand. You can't do that.
Chicago scored the first 4 points. Portland the next 6. Here's Pippen, and he's tied the game at 6. Kersey played by Pippen against Drexler, and it's rejected by Jordan. Michael Jordan with the rejection. He had some help from Cartwright.
Well, they front the post to make the lob pass take place. The good rotation by Bill stops him from getting the layup, and then you got Michael coming from behind your head, which is always dangerous.
It will be Chicago ball.
When Michael's gas tank was running a little bit empty in those first 4 games down the stretch, we noticed that one area, blocked shots, he had 0 for the first 4 games. He picked up 1 in Game 5. Already he has 1 here in Game 6.
And he was the number 2 shot blocking guard in the NBA behind Reggie Lewis of the Boston Celtics. And we get the whistle. The ball deflected out by Horace Grant, according to Ed Rush. Portland has opened up, hitting only 2 of 11 from the field. Kersey rebounded by Duckworth. So Portland leads by the score of 8-6.
turnovers and rebounds, two key figures that have stood up each game. The two areas that Portland will try and concentrate on. Reduce their turnovers, get on the glass.
Michael Jordan yet to attempt the shot. Shot clock at 4. He eludes the double team. And again, Portland on the run. The Bulls able to get back. Drexler stopped by Paxson, and then Jordan able to hustle it back.
The Chicago defense is always swarming, so when you turn your back for a second, somebody else is coming at you.
And Drexler stumbling threw it away. The Bulls take a timeout. A shaky start by both teams. 5 minutes gone by.
Are you tired of going through this when you go fishing? Are you frustrated with this unorganized mess? Well, attention anglers, from novice to pro, here's the answer. Totem Pole. Weighing less than 2 pounds, Totem Pole is lightweight, compact, and durable. Constructed of rust-resistant material, Totem Pole will last a lifetime. And it floats. Totem Pole will organize 5 rods and reels without that tangled mess. The padded shoulder strap allows your hands to be free to carry other gear. It comes with a mounting clip providing storage and protection for your valuable rods and reels, all for only $37.95. Totem Pole is ideal for pier, jetty, boat, or bank fishermen, and it makes a great gift. Totem Pole, the ultimate fishing companion. And as a special offer, the first 100 callers will receive Totem Pole for only $27.95. That's a $10 savings. So call now, toll free, 1-800-646-5574.
Michael Jordan missed most of the season with a broken bone in his left foot. He was able to return for the playoffs and put on an amazing show at the Boston Garden. In Game 2, Jordan scored a playoff record 63 points. Young MJ kept the overmatched Bulls in the game against the mighty Boston Celtics, who had lost only one home game all season. Boston would eventually win in double overtime, but after the game, everyone was talking about Jordan's performance.
I came in accepting the challenge that I'm going against one of the top 3 defensive players in the league, and I'm very happy with my performance at this particular time. I'd much rather win the game, but you know, I am happy with the way I played. I just wish that in the second overtime I could have made the shot.
The guy is, he's what's happening right now. I don't think you can say it or explain it any other way. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan, and he's exactly what's happening right now.
I really rate Michael's performance. Oh, it was average.
Say Michael Jordan scored 63 on the Celtics, and that's something I didn't think anybody could possibly do.
The Celtics won Game 3 to end Jordan's second pro season. Our Michael Jordan tribute now continues.
For most of the series, Chicago has had the lead. They have dominated in this department, as you can see by the numbers. Now, the last 3 games, Portland has started very slowly. We talked about this with Danny Ainge and asked why the slow start.
It's typical for our team to start slow. Clyde is a guy that kind of gets a feel for the game and gets going as the game goes along. I think in contrast to that, the Bulls, Michael is the type of player that, similar to Larry when I played with Bird in Boston, likes to come out right from the get-go and get going and then kind of coast through until he's needed again. And I think it's just a contrast in styles, and it's really hurt us.
It's interesting how the great players can pick and choose which way they would like to come out to start a game. Earlier, when we spoke to Michael before the game, he had mentioned that tonight he does not want to come out real strong as far as scoring. He'd like to get his teammates involved and then pick and choose his spots in the beginning when he wants to try and score.
Well, he's attempted only 1 shot. Came up with that blocked shot a moment ago, so he is, as they say, letting the game come to him. 6:53 remaining. In this first quarter, it's Portland 8 and Chicago 6.
Portland wanted to concentrate on rebounding. Right now in the early going, a 9-2 advantage on the glass for Portland. Duckworth with 5.
Jordan slicing through, and he drew the foul. He was met by Duckworth, and he put the move on him. Duckworth called for his second foul.
Well, Michael with the terrific crossover move right to left. He's just too quick for the big man to come out and try and play him. Duckworth.
Now Clifton Robinson replaces Kevin Duckworth, who was called for his second. That was called a non-shooting foul. Kevin Duckworth had 5 rebounds here at the start. And the foul called on Cartwright. Offensive foul. Cartwright attempting to set up, looking for position against Robinson. And in the process, he picked up his first foul.
And they don't want to let the offensive man hold. The right arm right there holds Robinson so he can't come around and defend.
Robinson went short, but Kersey is right there. A strong start for Kersey. Blazers 10, the Bulls 6.
Let's go back to game one, the blowout here when Chicago took the Trailblazers apart. Only 25 minutes of playing time for Duckworth because of early foul problems. Only 18 minutes for Buck Williams. They have to stay out of foul trouble.
Cartwright working his way in. And it will be Portland ball. When the Bulls saw the matchup of Cliff Robinson against Bill Cartwright earlier in the season, they felt they did not try to take advantage as much as they should, so they're looking for Cartwright here. Meanwhile, Robinson from the outside. Cliff Robinson, 3 games ago, struggled at 2 of 11, then bounced back with a good one in game 4, 3 of 4 the other night in Portland. Pippen off the board and able to cover. Blazers lead 12-8. Like Scottie Pippen took a shot under the nose.
And there's blood on his uniform. The officials are checking to see if there is an open wound, open cut. According to the NBA rule, they must stop the game. He must come out of the game. They must clean it up and then cover it before he's allowed to continue.
Well, Pippen is saying no, he's all right. The Bulls trainer Chip Schaefer took a look, and now the officials are checking it out.
Scotty, I think, saying that he was bleeding from his nose. He just used the top of the uniform to wipe it and stop the bleeding, but there are no open cuts, evidently.
NBA officials now in the role of Arthur McCarthy or Bills Lane. 5.5 remaining in the first quarter. Blazers with the ball. They lead it 12-8, although they've shot only 5 of 16. Chicago 4 for 10. Porter dumps it off. Rejection by Grant. Horace Grant, who had 4 blocked shots the other night and has been a terror in that department against the Blazers, coming up with an emphatic block on Buck Williams.
That was Grant's 14th block in this final series. He's all over the interior area, either changing or blocking shots. It's discouraging. Just when you think you got a clear look, here comes Grant to get a piece, change the entire face of the offensive structure for the team.
Bill Cartwright sitting down. Scott Williams, second-year player from North Carolina, has checked in. He will match with Buck Williams. Just under 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Robinson. And the rebound handled by Williams. For 3. Portland 12, Chicago 11.
If you try and get your help from John Paxson's side of the floor to stop Michael Jordan off the dribble, he just floats to an open spot, waits for the pass.
Shot clock at 3. Porter with a force, and he hit it into the foul. Terry Porter had to hoist it up with the shot clock dropping down. Paxson commits the foul, and Porter will go to the line.
Well, you said it. With the clock running down, Porter knows he has to get it off. Paxson right there getting a hand. The foul takes place on the wrist. Perhaps this will be the thing that gets Porter off that tough shooting stretch he's been involved with.
3-point play for Terry Porter. It's Portland 15, Chicago 11 as we come up on 4 minutes remaining in the first. Offensive foul on Jordan. That's his first.
Well, the officials are not going to let Michael Jordan get away with anything extra. It's the left hand holding Clyde's wrist so that Clyde can't move his feet. Clyde calls it, the officials call it. No extra advantage for Michael Jordan. Not that he needs any.
Very quiet start for both Jordan and Drexler. Now Grant switches off to Drexler. Shot clock at 5. Drexler changed his mind. Porter has to force again. That's an air ball, and it's a 24-second violation.
It's tough enough in the NBA to get a good shot with the shot clock running down on the 5. But against Chicago's defense, with the quickness and size that they have, when you pass the ball back and forth with 5, 4, 3 on the 24-second clock, nearly impossible to get a good look.
Pippen lost control, but was able to recapture. Here's Paxson on a quick release. John Paxson has hit his first 3 shot attempts. He has 7, and the Bulls trail by 2.
Last time it was Michael Jordan. This time it's Scottie Pippen. Drive the seam, kick to Paxson.
Loose ball foul against the Bulls. It's on Paxson. Second committed by Paxson. And now Rick Adelman calls for time with 3:08 to go in the first quarter.
He announced that he was coming back from retirement.
Go Penguins! It means a lot to have him back. My first thought was, thank God.
Pure joy. Everybody felt it. This goes beyond sports. This is culture.
It's the best thing to happen to Pittsburgh since the inaccurate reception.
A lot of people thought I was too old to come back. I just needed some time to clear my head and my acne.
Play the Powerade ESPN Sports Center Under the Cap game. 1 in 6 wins instantly.
Ever notice how white seems to attract stains? Now you can have white and help keep it that way. At least when it comes to your teeth.
With new dual-action whitening from Crest. Unlike ordinary toothpaste, it whitens in 2 ways. 1, it removes stains. 2, it helps keep them whiter with a protective layer that repels new stains. Too bad it only works on teeth. It's gone. Oh, it's gone. New dual-action whitening from Crest.
There's a big herd headed your way, and it's a great time to rope one in. It's the big Montana Roundup. Your Pontiac dealer has a whole corral of new Montanas.
And now you can get 0.9% APR with $52.47 in average finance savings on a 2001 Montana. Other restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Stop by your Pontiac dealer for the big Montana Roundup and kick up some dust with a new Montana of your own.
Good girl. Today, I'm giving my daughter her first driving lesson. I'm Howard Simpson, auto insurance expert for Liberty Mutual. Teenagers are more likely to have an accident than anyone else. That's why I volunteer to teach kids road safety long before they get their license.
Let's go, let's go.
Whether it's teaching kids in high school or training professionals, we do whatever it takes to make roads safer.
Liberty Mutual. It's more than insurance. It's insurance in action.
You're never too old to learn.
Excellence has only one name, Tiger.
I believe the phrase is, I am Tiger Woods.
Sunday, June 10th, a full day of classic Tiger. And it's only on ESPN Classic. From his glory days as an amateur.
3 straight U.S. Amateur Championships for Tiger Woods.
Through his record-breaking Grand Slam victory in 2000.
Does it get any better than this, guys?
A full day of classic Tiger, and it's right here on ESPN Classic. It all starts Sunday, June 10th at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
You're watching Classic Michael Jordan, 19 hours of Jordan's greatest games and moments featuring highlights, analysis, and all 6 of his NBA championships right here on ESPN Classic.
After knocking out 2 jumpers at the offensive end, Paxson a little over-aggressive going for the rebound. The body contact to Porter. Personal foul, number 2 on Paxson. B.J. Armstrong reports to the scorer's table. He will replace John Paxson on the floor.
And Paxson has had the hot hand, 3 for 3, including a 3-pointer, 7 points. In this series, he's knocked down 7 out of 15 from three-point land. Here's B.J. Armstrong coming on. So it's Jordan and Armstrong in the backcourt for the Bulls. Scott Williams up front with Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant. 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Jordan with the interception. The Bulls trail 15-13.
4th turnover in this first quarter for Portland.
And Jordan is fouled.
Because Chicago anticipates so well, in particular Michael Jordan, the passing lanes are most dangerous. You have to be sure before you pass the basketball. Crisp, short passes.
Clyde Drexler, who was in foul trouble throughout the game on Friday night with 4 in the first half, was called for his first. Again, a non-shooting foul. Now Jordan posting up Drexler. I played him well. Jordan passed on the 3. Finds Grant. Oh, what a play by Horace Grant. And he's tied the game at 15.
And Danny Ainge had mentioned to us earlier that one of the problems with double-teaming Jordan on the perimeter is that he hangs in the air so long, you just don't know where he's going to drop the ball off at the end.
Robinson, yes. Cliff Robinson with his second field goal. He has 4, and the Blazers lead at 17-15. Now Jordan being played by Kersey. Armstrong. 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Just under 2 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Clyde Drexler throwing it away. He thought he had a teammate on the far side.
The decision-making ability of Michael Jordan, when he gets in the air, he now has 3 defenders occupied. It's just a matter of picking out the right man. That time it was Grant.
Danny Ainge has checked in. Grant from Armstrong. Bulls caught the Blazers relaxing. They did not get back.
Chicago's team tests you mentally in all facets, every area. If you fall asleep on an inbounds pass, they'll try and get a quick one on you. If you're lazy on a pass, they'll intercept it by cutting in the passing lane. They make you execute and pay attention 48 minutes.
Buck Williams called for the foul. And Grant to the line. And now Kersey makes his return, and Buck Williams sits down after picking up his second. It has been a quiet series for Buck Williams. As Bob mentioned right at the start of the game, he's bothered by a bruised heel. Nice pass from Grant, finding Williams. And the game is tied at 17. Good setup from Porter. Blazers lead 19-17. Jordan. And that is his first field goal. Bulls and Blazers at 19 apiece. Kersey able to penetrate. 8 points for Kersey. The Blazers lead by 2.
And that's the freewheeling type of attack that the Trailblazers want to get involved with. Couple passes, put it on the floor, break down the defense.
Last couple of times down, Drexler getting some help with Jordan. Williams rejected by Robinson. Here comes Porter. And it's Kersey again, giving Portland a 23-19 lead. Ainge with the steal. Kersey for Drexler. Rebound, Kersey. Jerome Kersey with a magnificent first quarter. This is his style, and he has really hurt the Bulls. 6 of 11, 12 points. Blazers lead 25-19. 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. Down to 5. Jordan. And it will be Blazer ball with 2 seconds remaining. That's the end of the first. A good spurt by the Trailblazers. And they lead the Bulls by the score of 25-19.
Good defense. defense will produce easy offense. The block shot that time by Robinson helps to trigger the fast break. Blazer basketball, get out, fill the lanes, and then the ability to convert at the end. Porter getting Kersey involved early in the game, and then turning the tables around, paying attention to some sloppy play. The steal takes place on the inbounds pass. Danny Ainge heads up at all times. Don't get careless. The Trailblazers make it pay at their end of the floor. Again, the transition game.
So big quarter for Jerome Kersey, leading the way with 12 of the 25.
Hey, Alex.
Hi, Michael.
After you.
Oh, no, after you.
No, I insist.
Thank you.
Competition. Most of the time, it brings out the best in us.
Hey, make you some hay.
I can take pain, but I can't take sunscreen that runs into my eyes and stings.
Coppertone Sports Sunscreen, ultra sweat-proof.
I can take on any height. What I can't take is sunscreen that affects my grip.
Coppertone Sports, ultra dry.
I can take on any wave, but I can't take sunscreen that washes right off.
Coppertone Sport, waterproof. So no matter how you take on the sun, there's only one choice. Coppertone Sport, the #1 preferred sports sunscreen.
Tomorrow on ESPN Classic. What do you get when these ball players go to Japan? Come on, give them a little smile.
Shut up!
You get everything but baseball.
You're gonna get it now, sucker!
And the only hope they have to win the World Championship.
You're not a lefty.
Oh, yeah.
Is a miracle. Tony Curtis stars in a real classic. The Bad News Bears go to Japan.
Is somebody gonna play center?
Tomorrow at 9 Eastern, only on ESPN Classic.
After one in Chicago, Portland with a 25-19 lead. Jerome Kersey, for the most part, has been outplayed in the series by Scottie Pippen, but he's come on the last 2 games. He was a key to the victory in Game 4, played well in Game 5 on Friday night, and here in the first quarter, 6 of 11, 12 points, and 5 rebounds.
The reason that it's so important is because they are relying on Kersey to play Pippen defensively and keep pressure on him. Pippen leads the Chicago team in assists. The offense runs through him. So if they can keep pressure on him, obviously it will affect their offensive efficiency. If you get him pumped up at the offensive end, maybe he'll work hard at the defensive end.
Shot clock down to 3. Drexler for 3. Oh, he got the roll. Clyde Drexler has come out with a different personality here in the first half. He's looking to give up the ball. Perhaps the thought that the shot selection was not wonderful in Game 5, and whether it's the coaching staff or Clyde himself, but you can see he has started the game differently. Shot clock at 3. And Michael Jordan drills it home for his second field goal. He has 4. Blazers lead 28-21.
I think that's the way Clyde wants to play, Michael. Challenge him a little bit, but back off so you don't get beat with that first quick long step. Make him make some jump shots before you come out and really get up tight on him.
Well, pretty pass off the dribble by Robinson. Cliff Robinson with a good start. Blazers lead by 9. So that stat earlier, the Chicago Bulls during the course of this series have led for 78% of the minutes played coming into tonight. Jordan rebounded by Cartwright and it knocked away, and the Blazers are back on it. Well, in the first quarter, Portland trailed for only 2 minutes of the 12. Here's Drexler passing the 3. Drexler on the tip. Jordan changed his mind with the 3-point opportunity. Pippen, tough angle shot. And it will be Portland possession.
Clyde Drexler with the 3 gets the real good roll. This thing grabs the rim, finds a way to get back in again. He'll take it anyway. Just so long as Clyde knocks him out, it will open things up on the interior for this Portland team.
Drexler getting inside. Easy opportunity for Drexler, who now is 2 of 8.
Well, he's had 2 layups the last 2 times down. Once he puts them in, things will work out.
Pippen drawing the double team momentarily. Shot clock at 5. Down to 1. Pippen. It's a 24-second violation.
Portland should feel real good about itself right now defensively. They're denying, they're moving their feet, they're getting good help, not getting beat off the dribble.
Timeout taken by Phil Jackson.
Honey, did you get paper plates? You got ice, right?
Short trips really beat up your engine, but Pennzoil with Pure Base is formulated to protect against the harshness of everyday driving. We can't change the way you have to drive, but we can protect you from it.
What kind of steaks did you get?
Stop and go. Protection from Pennzoil. For protection under heavier loads, try Pennzoil Synthetic Blend.
She's the biggest sport utility on the planet.
Yeah, big.
8.5 feet wide. Seats 84.
While other companies were busy thinking bigger, Subaru was thinking smarter. That's why the Forester gives you the rugged traction of all-wheel drive with a smooth, easy car-like ride.
Come in any other colors?
Nah, that's pretty much it.
Subaru Forester. Sport utility tough, car easy.
Now you can get financing as low as 2.9% APR on all 2001 models.
My name is David, and I'm in 4th grade. Today, my schoolmates and I went to a reading workshop. I was really excited because Keith Van Horn from the New Jersey Nets was there. He was a lot taller than I thought. Keith explained how important reading is and how fun it can be. I already like to read, but he showed me that reading is cool, too. Today was a good day.
You're watching Classic Michael Jordan, 19 hours of Jordan's greatest games and moments featuring highlights, analysis, and all 6 of his NBA championships right here on ESPN Classic.
Welcome back to Chicago, where the Blazers lead by 9. Early in the second quarter, is Phil Jackson in his 3rd year as coach of the Bulls. Led them to a title last season. I asked Phil what are the major differences between gunning for the NBA championship this year as opposed to a year ago.
Well, last year was it was a honeymoon. It was everything was successful. We tried a lot of things that were unique and special, and they just seemed to all work. It was a kiss of the beloved almost. This year's has been an odyssey. It's been a journey filled with travail and pitfalls and carping and little things that are going on, and it's been tough. It's been a real hard road.
Yes, it has been a very difficult run for the defending champions through the playoffs. Extended to 7 by the Knicks, 6 by the Cavaliers. Kersey with the intended pass to Williams. And the ball goes back to Chicago. So Buck Williams back on the floor. He's playing with 2 fouls. He's matched with Horace Grant. 3 minutes in, second quarter. The Blazers lead by 9. Michael Jordan sitting down. So Scottie Pippen, running the club, is able to hit on his 3rd field goal. He has 6. And it's Portland 30, Chicago 23. Bobby Hansen replacing Michael Jordan. And Hansen is guarding Ames. Kersey got the step. He has 14 points. Jerome Kersey, in his 8th season out of Longwood College in Virginia. He's become one of the most physical, explosive, small forwards in the NBA. And Hugh Evans with the call. It's a pushing foul on Danny Ainge.
With Chicago going over the top, Pippen winds up high side. It gives Kersey a chance to put it on the floor baseline and then splits the next defender rotating over.
Will Kersey, another successful example of Portland going after the terrific athletes, even if they're raw. And Kersey has certainly come a long way from Longwood College in Virginia. Pippen for three. It cuts the lead to 6. And the call against Portland. Jerome Kersey for the offensive foul. Here's another look.
After Pippen makes the shot, it's in transition as they're running back down the floor. Kersey trying to hold Pippen up and then delivers the forearm. Not going to get away with that.
And Rick Adamant looking to settle things down. Takes Kersey out. Duckworth checks in. So Kersey with 14 points, 6 rebounds. He has been able to ignite the Trailblazers in this first half. That three-pointer by Pippen is first of this series. He missed his previous 6 attempts. Cartwright, yes. It's Portland 32 and Chicago 28. Duckworth operating at the high post. Fan of defense from the crowd. And the offensive foul on Duckworth. He got entangled with Hansen and is called for his third.
I'm not so sure this isn't a pretty good acting job by Hansen. You're talking about a guy that's close to 300 pounds. When he's backing up, it's only natural you're going to fall down.
The Blazers want to talk it over. They call for time.
Where can you turn for 9 channels of great entertainment for only $15 more a month? Turn to the Showtime package for Hollywood hits, award-winning original series, championship boxing. Don't miss a minute of the entertainment you want. Order the Showtime package. 9 channels, only $15 more a month for Total Choice customers. Call now.
Tune in to Movie Showcase for weekly previews of what's hot on DirecTV premium movie channels. See what's playing on HBO, playing on Stars, and playing on Showtime. Check out Movie Showcase on Channel 500. And preview the best of what's on DirecTV Premium Movie Channel.
1983, the Portland Trailblazers selected Clyde Drexler with the 14th pick. The next season, with a shooting guard in place, the Blazers picked Sam Bowie to help in the front court. With the next pick, the Bulls picked a guard out of North Carolina named Michael Jordan. The two guards played a very similar style. Both played above the rim. Drexler made 10 trips to the All-Star game during his 15-year career. Jordan was an All-Star in 12 of the 13 seasons he played. MJ won all 6 times his Bulls made the finals, while Clyde lost twice in the finals with the Blazers before teaming up with his old college teammate Hakeem Olajuwon in Houston to win the 1995 championship. We now continue with the Blazers and Bulls from the 1992 NBA Finals right here on ESPN Classic.
A few moments ago, Jerome Kersey was on a roll. He had scored 14 points, but then he committed a personal foul. As he came out, he questioned, why are you taking me out? Rick Adamant said it's 3 fouls. Personal fouls are a problem. We got to get you out. Then when Rick checked back with his bench and they checked their stats, they realized that Kersey actually had only 1 personal foul. In looking up at the scoreboard, there was misinformation up there. Adamant read it the wrong way. Kersey was taken out of the game. As we come back to play now, Kersey's on the floor.
Yes, Jerome Kersey with only 1 foul. I thought was that perhaps he was taking him out to settle him down, but he thought he had 3 fouls on him. So Kersey, as you say, is back. Chicago in the midst of a 7-2 run without Michael Jordan over the last minute and 59.
You know, going back to that situation, it probably was a good move that he came out of the game. Get him relaxed, settle back down again after that foul that he picked up on Pippen with the elbow.
Now Drexler being guarded by Hansen. Kersey then on a switch. Drexler. Loose ball foul. Called on the Bulls. Let's go over to Ahmad.
All right, Mike and Marv. Part of that confusion was that Mike Sheminsky, the trainer, was not keeping a correct count of how many fouls that Kersey had. Rick Adelman extremely upset at Sheminsky.
All right, and here comes Michael Jordan for Bobby Hansen, who committed that foul. 6:40 remaining in the first half. Marv with the czar of the telestrator, like Fratello, and Ahmad Rashad. Drexler, he was pushed.
The problem with the Portland offense at times is that with their passing game motion offense, it becomes very congested. The spacing is not good. As a result, you try and make passes in close quarters. Too many bodies. You have 6, 8 bodies all in the paint area there. It makes it tough to see, deliver, and catch, and then convert at the end.
Drexler to the line. He was pushed by Grant. At one point in the series, Clyde hit 28 straight. At the free throw line, he's off to a slow start. As you can see, only 2 of 9 from the field. 7 points for Drexler. It's the Blazers 34 and the Bulls 28.
It's a deceiving 2 for 9, though, because he's had some real good shot opportunities, which normally he's going to make the inside layups.
Picked off by Robinson.
That's the pressure defense, the hands. The second time we've seen it pay off. Robinson, earlier Porter with the good hands, caused the turnover.
But Robinson has had a strong all-around first half. Nice feed. Robinson from Kersey, and the Blazers lead 36-28.
Spacing that time much better for Portland. They were spread out. They had Chicago's defense extended. Therefore, you can run back doors and make passes in the open passing lanes.
Here's Pippen. And Buck Williams with the box out. Here's Porter for Robinson. Drexler passed on the 3. And it's rebounded by Jordan. Picked off by Porter. 2-on-1. Jordan back. Drexler goes right at him. Blazers with their biggest lead of the night.
Terry Porter back in transition defense. Portland 2-on-1. Played the middle linebacker role. Eyes seeing the whole floor. Anticipated the pass. And then went and picked it off.
It's a 10-point lead for Portland. B.J. Armstrong. And it's swept by Clyde Drexler. Porter stumbling, but able to get it to Kersey. Drexler around Cartwright. Once again, it's Drexler on the drive. Blazers lead 40-28. And the Bulls calling for time. Couldn't get the time out. The ball was knocked out of the hands of Armstrong, and last touch by Armstrong as the Bulls were trying to indicate the timeout, and they may have relaxed for an instant. It will be Portland ball when we come back following the timeout.
And Porter caught 2-on-1, caught right behind him. Pippen trying to fill the left lane, comes up with the steal, and then lets Drexler be the decision maker. Makes a nice decision. Clyde goes by Cartwright. He knows there's a mismatch there, and then Jordan try and get there a little bit too late.
Hello? No, I can't save you money on car insurance. You want Geico, not Gecko. Well, that's uncalled for.
Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. At Geico, we get the ball rolling on your claim quickly. even in the middle of the night. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
There's a big herd headed your way, and it's a great time to rope one in. It's the big Montana Roundup. Your Pontiac dealer has a whole corral of new Montanas.
And now you can get 0.9% APR with $52.47 in average finance savings on a 2001 Montana. Other restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Stop by your Pontiac dealer for the big Montana Roundup and kick up some dust with a new Montana of your own.
We test dehydration under extreme conditions. We test how the brain works when the body is fatigued. We test over and over in a real lab with real athletes with the very focused goal of improving athletic performance. It's called the Gatorade Sports Science Institute. You can look it up.
You're watching Classic Michael Jordan, 19 hours of Jordan's greatest games and moments featuring highlights, analysis, and all 6 of his NBA championships right here on ESPN Classic.
And Portland with that 12-point lead, and just before the timeout was indicated, B.J. Armstrong forced into the turnover. Good pressure by Cliff Robinson. Was last touched by Armstrong.
And John Paxson had been up at the table ready to report in. He was on his way back because he knew Phil Jackson had signaled for the timeout.
Chicago, with Jordan sitting down getting a rest, outscored Portland 7-2. And one of those oddities with Michael back on the floor, Portland has unleashed 8 straight points, making 10 in a row. Yes, and it counts. Buck Williams with the strong drive, fouled by Scott Williams, and Buck will go to the line.
You don't associate Buck Williams and putting the ball on the floor from the top of the circle, taking it to the basket, but he had the step, put it down with his left hand. Good concentration and conversion.
Buck Williams on the line for the first time. The Blazers 43. The Bulls 28. Portland playing for its playoff life. And they've jumped in front by 15, hoping to tie the series at 3 to force a 7th game here in Chicago on Wednesday. The Bulls seeking to wrap it up. Pippen rejected and fouled by Kersey.
Well, the defense is swarming right now for Portland, and with their athleticism, they have the ability to change and block shots. That time, the block was good. It was the left hand in the back. That's where the foul was called.
An 11-0 run overall by the Blazers. And that now is number 2 committed by Jerome Kersey. Pippen to the line for the first time. Scottie Pippen picking up his free throw shooting after he had some difficulties in game 4. So the Blazers lead it by the score of 43-30. 3:45 remaining. First half, and Ames lost it.
What you want to do is try and have the guy bring the ball to the floor against who you feel is the weakest defender, the guy least likely to put pressure on the ball. They felt that the matchup of Paxson on Ainge, that would be the best way. Bring it up with Danny Ainge, take some pressure off the other guys. Didn't work out that way.
Well, trying to get the Bulls back into it. Jordan threw the foul. It's a chant we have not heard during the playoffs. Let's go Bulls from this capacity crowd at Chicago Stadium. Michael Jordan to the line for the first time. Michael coming into tonight's game with an injured thigh and a twisted left ankle, although he told us prior to the game that he's all right. He has played through a host of injuries right through the playoffs. Here's Terry Porter coming back. And he replaces Cliff Robinson, who had an excellent first half.
Cliff Robinson, not only his ability to score the basketball, but he is a highly skilled player. He passes, he finds open people, blocks shots at the defensive end, gives you a little bit of everything, and then flexibility as far as where you want to play him. Big forward, small forward, even the center spot at times.
Robinson 4 of 6, 8 points. Portland 43, Chicago 32.
Chicago now extending its defense with their trapping defense. Grant up on the ball. Portland wants to attack this for scores if it can.
Porter giving the three. Terry Porter with a three-pointer. Portland so successful during the course of the regular season and the earlier rounds of the playoffs from three-point land, but they have had a horrendous time of it in this series. Today, though, they've hit 2 of 3 from downtown. Michael Jordan has 8 points, and the Blazers now lead 46-34.
Prior to today's game, they were 8 for 45 in this series, just over 17% from the three-point line.
Drexler trying to save it. Jordan able to recapture. And the Bulls reset it. Shot clock at 5. Pippen checking the clock. Pippen off the spin. Rebound Williams. Williams again. He pops it out. Jordan for 3.
You're not going to believe this when I tell you, but he really didn't shoot that one well. It wasn't the kind of look that he wanted. It was more of a line drive type shot than his normal walk behind the three-point line.
So the Portland lead is now 9. They've led by as many as 15. Terry Porter.
You have to use your timeouts wisely in this building against Chicago. Don't let them get on a roll. Keep the crowd out of it if you can.
Drexler knocking it away. Shot clock at 9. Jordan. And again it's Scott Williams. And he's called for a timeout.
Going a full 12 rounds is all about stamina. That's why I like high endurance from Old Spice. No deodorant protects better. And it lasts longer because it evaporates more slowly. Want proof? If you're not convinced, Old Spice will buy you a stick of your old stuff. Let me put it this way. High endurance lasts longer than I do. I'm working on that.
Yo.
Thompson, Gilman here. You at the office?
How's the trip going, sir?
Fine. Did Mackenzie's email say $4 million? And when's the meeting?
Call you right back.
Introducing Mobile Office Email. Calendar, contact list, email, right on your phone.
$4 million and the meeting's at 10.
Excellent work. Why don't you go home early?
Nextel. More ways than anyone to communicate with everyone.
He's a coach.
This time I want to see 3 things.
A teacher. A friend.
You know, what are we trying to make this kid's life impossible?
He's the White Shadow. The classic series now only on ESPN Classic.
What I hear, you guys need a basketball coach real bad.
This old school pro turned coach shows these inner city high school kids what life's really about. Nobody said it'd be easy, but Ken Howard is
like a White Shadow.
The White Shadow, weekdays at 10, only on ESPN Classic.
To the fourth quarter in Chicago. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad, Bob Costas, Quinn Buckner. And the Portland Trailblazers with their best third quarter of this NBA Finals series as they come up with 29 points. They outscore the Bulls 29-20 to lead by 15.
When you go back to game 1 and 2 in this building, 17 points in game 1, 16 in game 2 in the third quarter. Their high so far was a 24-point third quarter last game.
So the fourth quarter is underway. The Blazers hoping to tie the series at 3. That pass intended for Hansen and a foul. Called on Ainge. His second. Blazers 11 for 21. Good shooting. Third quarter. The Bulls 8 of of 17. Rick Allen providing a rest for Clyde Drexler. Kevin Duckworth has returned. Here's Hansen. That's a three. Bobby Hansen with his third three-pointer of the series. Hansen on the floor with Michael Jordan getting some time off. Kersey for Robinson. And Kersey stopped by Hansen. Asking for a flagrant foul.
I think the referee has called a flagrant foul. They'll shoot these free throws and get the ball out of bounds on the side. If there's not an intent to play the ball, instead of playing the body, they're going to call that flagrant foul. As King goes up, Kersey rotating over, comes down with the right arm. That follow-through of the right arm is what is going to determine whether or not it's a flagrant foul. Kersey has already been called for one flagrant foul previously in the finals. Rick Adelman doesn't quite agree with the call, obviously.
Stacey King, a 75% free throw shooter. As Kersey involved on that flagrant foul of Scott Williams. And that led to the heated discussion between Danny Ainge and Jerome Kersey. Stacey King, you recall, involved with Danny Ferry back in the series against Cleveland.
You're looking on the floor at Chicago's team, the only starter out there, Scottie Pippen. Sometimes coaches, when they realize their starting unit is out of sync, they make a change. They go with the second unit, second group as they call it, and hope that they can shake things up.
Drexler back. Pippen able to elude Drexler, who did not want to pick up his fifth. So the Bulls have come out roaring at the start of the fourth. The Blazers now lead by 9.
And after that basket, Rick Adelman started to signal timeout, but changed his mind and let him play through it.
Cliff Robinson has said Portland leads 81-70. King fouled by Duckworth. That's number 5 on Kevin Duckworth.
When you're matched up and you're playing Stacey King, you have to play him strong for the left-hand drive. He's not going to put the ball down with his right hand and try and beat you to the basket.
Now Portland takes a timeout. We'll be right back.
Want more from a sport utility? Test drive the all-wheel drive Subaru Outback. More ground clearance than a Ford Explorer Sport. More cargo space than a Jeep Cherokee. More miles per gallon than any leading midsize SUV. Add a smooth car-like ride and you have a sport utility with a whole lot more. Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon. Get financing as low as 2.9% APR on all 2001 models.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
There's no place like home. No place like home.
For over 60 years, Owens Corning has been advancing the science of insulation, roofing, sound control, even home theaters. And everything we've learned, we've put into one very special place, your home. Owens Corning. We know homes.
The summer is here, and so is WNBA action. The competition is hotter than ever as the world's greatest women basketball players compete in the 5th exciting WNBA season. And the WNBA wants you to join them.
Are you with me?
Join with thousands of passionate fans to cheer your favorite team on to the WNBA crown. Get your WNBA tickets now. Tickets start at $8, so log on to WNBA.com or call 1-877-WNBA-TICKS.
Reese Davis back in the ESPN Classic Studios as we continue our tribute to Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals. Over the years, Michael Jordan has sat down for many SportsCenter conversations. For a small sampling of MJ's best, here is this classic conversation.
It's not that I'm being selfish in the situation. I'm trying to get us to a point where we can be considered as one of the elite teams. And that can be if I'm scoring 60 points, or scoring 2 points, playing defense, passing, rebound, whatever I have to do to help this team get to that point.
Have you missed out on anything because of the celebrity status, because of sometimes being a prisoner of your fame?
I don't think I've missed out, but I think people around me have missed out. My wife, going to movies, going to dinners, taking my kids to parks, amusement parks. These things that my family's missed out on.
Is the only way to define a great season to you winning a title?
Sure. I mean, what we have accomplished this season, and we've bonded together, which has been a very amazing thing all season long, is that we've put together a lot of different personalities on this team, and yet we've accomplished a lot.
Could you possibly even entertain the thought of retiring without winning the final game of the season?
I don't want to think that way. I want to think that, whenever I choose to quit, that, I'm leaving when we're winning and not when we're losing,
But you couldn't walk off the floor having lost your last game, could you? The competitor in you, could you?
I could, because I have so many successes to have memories over, so I'm not afraid of that.
When Mario unretired and he scored that first goal, was there just a twinge of maybe?
It was an itch, in all honesty.
Coming back.
I'm great with Mario. We're great friends, and I told him when he did that, he's going to start this whole concept. Everybody's going to say, well, you still can play, you can still get out there and do the things that you can do, but I know my place right now. But yeah, I did get the itches. I did get the urge sometimes to think about what if, but it was short-lived, and I went out the best way I could have gone out.
Our tribute to Michael Jordan now continues here on ESPN Classic.
Stacey King back to the line. The crowd detecting the possibility of a run by the Bulls, who have been sparked by this unit. Stacey King, Scott Williams, Scott Pippen up front with Bobby Hansen and B.J. Armstrong in the backcourt. Chicago now 12 of 18 from the line. Portland has been perfect. They've hit all 15. So the Bulls, chipping away, have cut that 17-point Portland lead down to 9. Pressure by Chicago. Robinson, rebounded by Williams.
Robinson got caught halfway in between deciding whether to shoot it or give it up to someone else. He was so open, it was like an afterthought. He didn't really want to stroke that one.
Shot clock to 4. Pippen gets the Blazers 81. The Bulls 74. And the Bulls are doing it without Michael Jordan on the floor. A double dribble called by Mike Mathis. He hesitated. Scottie Pippen gave the indication, and then the call was made.
Sometimes you just want to be sure that it's the right call before you make it.
Your goal is closer than you think. Introducing the ProForm 995 SEL treadmill. Follow the iFit 12-week workout program and you'll get results guaranteed. iFit gives you professional instruction and feedback.
You're in your target heart rate zone.
High-energy music and motivational coaching.
Keep up that energy. You're doing great.
You'll get professional nutrition advice and interactive workout programs that automatically adjust your fitness equipment.
Okay, now let's take it uphill.
With ProForm and iFit, you're just 12 weeks away from a better body, guaranteed, or your money back.
Wow.
Get the Proform 995 SEL with iFit technology today for as little as $35 per month. Call now and receive iFit's 12 weeks to a better body absolutely free. You'll get 4 interactive workout CDs, instructional video, and nutrition guide. A $150 value free just for ordering.
Introducing the best movie value on DirecTV, the Stars Super Pack. It's #1 in new hit movies. You'll see award-winning movies like Erin Brockovich, U571, and The Cider House Rules. Movies you won't get anywhere else but the Stars Super Pack. You'll get 12 different movie channels for only $10 more per month with any total choice package. Get the best movie value with the Stars Super Pack on DirecTV. Call now 1-800-547-4DTV. The Stars Super Pack. It's #1 in new hit movies.
Watching classic Michael Jordan, 19 hours of Jordan's greatest games and moments featuring highlights, analysis, and all 6 of his NBA championships right here on ESPN Classic.
Scottie Pippen has Drexel down low, uses his size, just muscle it up inside on the post-up move.
Michael Jordan cheering on his team from the bench. A 10-2 run by Chicago, and off that turnover, it will be Chicago ball when we resume.
Marv, I disagree with that last call. You can always pick up a fumbled basketball. He did not try to re-dribble the ball. He lost control, fumbled it, picked it up off the ground. You're allowed to do that.
And the Trailblazers certainly felt that it was a long call. You may have seen the reaction of Rick Allen. But on the turnover, it comes back to Chicago. They pulled within 7. Phil Jackson staying with this unit. Armstrong. Yes. The Portland lead is down to 5. 9 minutes to go in the 4th. Offensive foul on Portland. It's called on Buck Williams.
It's got to be the toughest thing to stay within what you were doing the whole game when every call, everything seems to be going against you. It takes terrific concentration to try and hold and maintain a lead, particularly in this building.
All right, King, yes! Buck Williams tried to draw the foul. The Bulls with a 3. And they've done it with Michael Jordan sitting out. Portland calling for time.
King down to the low post, gets to a point where he starts to make his move to the middle. Buck gives it the flop, falls down. You don't want to fall on the floor that close to the basket.
There's a big herd headed your way, and it's a great time to rope one in. It's the big Montana Roundup. Your Pontiac dealer has a whole corral of new Montanas.
And now you can get 0.9% APR with $52.47 in average finance savings on a 2001 Montana. Other restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Stop by your Pontiac dealer for the big Montana Roundup and kick up some dust with a new Montana of your own.
Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love. Got to admit, it's getting better.
Philips CD recorder system. Burn it, play it.
Smart takes the shot, and the Hoosiers go ahead. Indiana wins the championship.
Reese Davis back in the ESPN Classic Studios as we continue with our tribute to Michael Jordan and all of his greatest games and moments. Over the last few months, rumors of a possible return to the NBA by Jordan have been swirling around. Michael would be 38 if he returned next season, and there has been some mixed reviews by users on ESPN.com. Here's a sampling of what some viewers had to say.
He'd be crazy. Jordan is crazy to come back. He went out better than any other player could ever dream of. My opinion is Jordan has no reason to come back because he has accomplished everything he needs to. It would be hard for me seeing 23 in a Wizards uniform. He'd still be great. If he does come back, even at 39, he will still be a great player, even if he is not the greatest player in the world.
Our tribute to Michael Jordan now continues here on ESPN Classic.
This crowd senses that it is slipping away from the Portland Trailblazers. Yes, it is very tough to repeat. Only 4 teams have been able to do it. The Minneapolis Lakers, the LA Lakers, the Boston Celtics, and the Detroit Pistons. The Chicago Bulls trying to repeat. Another Portland turnover. Chicago in the midst of a 14-2 run this fourth quarter. They've hit 5 out of 5 from the field. Michael Jordan has returned. Here's King. Rebounded by Buck Williams. The Blazers have led by as many as 17. They led by 15 at the start of this fourth quarter. It's Drexler. He has 20, and the Blazers now lead by 5.
Now's the decision-making time for Phil Jackson. How long do you go with this unit on the floor? They got you right back in the game. They've used up a lot of energy to do that, and they're not used to playing extended minutes. When do you bring back your main unit?
Armstrong for 3. And it will be Portland ball. Drexler for Robinson. And Scottie Pippen may have gotten away with a travel. Pippen met by Buck Williams. Takes him one-on-one and lost it. Good play by Kersey. Porter trying to push it down. The Bulls able to get back. 7 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. And the Blazers lead by 5. Foul call on Armstrong.
BJ realized that he was in trouble. He got caught guarding Kersey. He took the foul right away rather than let Jerome score a basket right there. Portland must remain aggressive. They must continue to attack, get on the offensive board, get second shot opportunities, play the way they did when they built up that lead.
Here's Drexler. And a troubling violation called on Pippen.
Well, Clyde Drexler had the right idea. Put it on the floor, take it to the basket, try and get the official to blow a whistle to get to the free throw line, build up points that way. But even though no call, they got it right back again by the travel taking place. Drexler trying to get it to the front of the rim. No call is made. He misses the shot. But then afterwards, you had a travel, which gives the ball back to Portland.
Robinson forced to a very difficult shot.
Not the type of shot you want at that time.
Here's Pippen.
Rick Adams is signaling to his team, move the basketball, pass the basketball. Don't just stop after one pass.
Very tentative pass by Kersey, and Jordan comes up with it. And the Bulls will regroup. Pippen trying to post up. Shot clock at 8. Drexler playing with 4. Here's Jordan. Look out of it, calls for time.
Scottie Pippen with the ability conversion. Michael, on the other hand, taking the floater just over the outstretched arm.
Want more from a sport utility? Test drive the all-wheel drive Subaru Outback. More ground clearance than a Ford Explorer Sport. More cargo space than a Jeep Cherokee. More miles per gallon than any leading midsize SUV. Add a smooth car-like ride and you have a sport utility with a whole lot more. Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon. Get financing as low as 2.9% APR on all 2001 models.
He announced that he was coming back from retirement.
Go Penguins! It means a lot to have him back. My first thought was, thank God.
Pure joy. Everybody felt it. This goes beyond sports. Woo! This is culture.
It's the best thing to happen to Pittsburgh since the inaccurate reception.
A lot of people thought I was too old to come back. I just needed some time to clear my head and my acne.
Play the Powerade ESPN Sports Center under the cap game. 1 in 6 wins instantly.
Excellence has only one name, Tiger.
I believe the phrase is, I am Tiger Woods.
Sunday, June 10th, a full day of classic Tiger. And it's only on ESPN Classic. From his glory days as an amateur.
3 straight U.S. Amateur Championships for Tiger Woods.
Through his record-breaking Grand Slam victory in 2000.
Does it get any better than this, guys?
A full day of classic Tiger, and it's right here on ESPN Classic. It all starts Sunday, June 10th at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
You're watching Classic Michael Jordan, 19 hours of Jordan's greatest games and moments featuring highlights, analysis, and all 6 of his NBA championships right here on ESPN Classic.
The Chicago Bulls have come back from a 17-point deficit. They are down by only 1 with just under 6 minutes to go in the 4th. The Blazers down to 1 timeout remaining.
And the key thing is that the next mandatory timeout, in other words, when the game is stopped because of its protocol with the NBA, at a certain point it stops. 2:59 is the mark. They only have 1 left, so they have to space it out wisely.
Protocol meaning a television timeout.
Yes. TV timeout.
Get those commercials in so they can pay your salaries on. Chicago with an 18-4 advantage in this 4th quarter. The Blazers have led most of the way. Portland wants a goaltend. Porter was fouled by Armstrong. They will not get the goaltend call.
Take the ball to the basket, try and draw the foul, try and quiet the crowd. Portland wanted the goaltend call. No goaltend.
Terry Porter is 5 for 5 from the line. So Portland 16 of 16 from the foul line.
Their claim was, Portland, that the backboard was touched while the ball was up on the glass. If that's the case, it should be a goaltend then if it's touched while the ball is on the glass.
B.J. Armstrong sitting down, replaced by John Paxson. B.J. leads with 6 points. Paxson has had the hot hand throughout. Portland by 2. The Blazers 85. The Bulls 82. Chicago back to Jordan and Paxson at the guards. Pippen, King, and Williams up front. Stacey King has played a major role. Shot clock to 5. Down to 3. Pippen for 3. For Pippen, hitting the 3-pointer with the shot clock down to 2. Terry Porter able to come back. That's his 7th field goal. He has 22. The Blazers 87. The Bulls 85.
Portland played defense as well as you can play. Pippen just knocked out a sensational shot.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Michael Jordan. Yes. The game is tied at 87. Jordan has 25. series to a 7th and final game Wednesday here in Chicago. Drexler rejected by Scott Williams. Jordan for 3. Rebounded by Pippen. The Blazers and Bulls tied at 87. The backdoor pass picked off on the deflection. Jordan with the steal. The first time Chicago has led since the opening minutes when they had a 4-2 lead. Here's Drexler. And the game is tied at 89.
Something that Chicago has done throughout the series is hang in on the rebounders. You must pay attention and protect the basketball.
Jordan unhappy with the hand checking of Drexler. King played by Williams. Stacey King. Crowd wanted offensive interference. We're approaching 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Drexler. Scott Williams comes up hobbling as Chicago calls for time.
There's a big herd headed your way, and it's a great time to rope one in. It's the big Montana Roundup. Your Pontiac dealer has a whole corral of new Montanas.
And now you can get 0.9% APR with $52.47 in average finance savings on a 2001 Montana. Other restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Stop by your Pontiac dealer for the big Montana Roundup and kick up some dust with a new Montana of your own.
Hello.
Come home early.
I can't. I'm working.
I lit some candles.
I'm swamped.
I bought Bud Light.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Come again?
Yeah, he's got a pencil lodged in his...
You know, the most amazing things happen to me every time I begin to read. I can fly among the moon and stars, or I can visit lands both near and far. I've always liked a good mystery, but there are so many things that interest me. And my favorite thing is when it ends, another book starts it all again.
Reese Davis back in the ESPN Classic Studios. During his career, Michael Jordan played in 37 playoff series, winning 30. Jordan's Bulls were pushed to the limit in a series only 5 times. Their record in those do-or-die games, 4-1. Only the Bad Boy Pistons in 1990 beat MJ's Bulls in a deciding game. During their 6 championship runs, the Bulls played in only 2 Game 7s against the Knicks in 1992 and the Pacers in 1998. Chicago was never forced to play a Game 7 in the NBA Finals, while the Celtics of the 60s were pushed to a 7th game 4 times on their way to 9 titles. ESPN Classics tribute to Michael Jordan now continues.
Whether it's the bad thigh or the injured ankle, Michael Jordan has used this floater a number of times in the game thus far, not going all the way to the rim, but pulling up in between to get a good look. Clyde, on the other hand, beats Michael off the dribble, but then encounters Scott Williams, who rotates over to block the shot. When you rebound the ball, if you're Portland against Chicago, you must protect it. They hang in and try and deflect your outlet passes. Jordan coming from behind, the steal, the dunk. Rick Adelman not particularly happy. He felt there was a foul on the play.
Chicago opened this fourth quarter with a 14-2 run, and they did it with Michael Jordan on the bench for the first 3.5 minutes of the fourth. Phil Jackson going with a hybrid lineup, and it worked. The Blazers and Bulls tied at 89. Chicago gunning for its 2nd straight NBA championship. Portland trying to tie the series, hoping to extend to a 7th game here in Chicago on Wednesday. Shot clock down to 5. Jordan, that was deflected short by Drexler. And Buck Williams able to come away with it.
And again, Scottie Pippen
commitment, slapping at the basketball after Buck came up with the rebound. Remember, the advantage now in timeouts, definitely on Chicago's side.
Here's Williams. He was set up beautifully, but missed the layup.
We mentioned earlier the number of layups and inside shots that they have missed, Portland. You have to convert those.
Scottie Pippen does convert to give Chicago a 91-89 lead. 2:15 remaining in the fourth.
I'm kind of missing where Jerome Kersey has been offensively for the last portion of the game.
Corner strip by Paxson, and it will be Chicago ball. Ed Rush says it was knocked out of bounds by Terry Porter.
Porter on the way up. Paxson with the hand in there to strip, and then out of bounds on the sideline.
A minute 50 to go in the fourth. Chicago with a 2-point lead. Drexler playing with 4. Shot clock at 3. Yes! And a timeout called with a minute 39 remaining in the fourth.
The reason that you can't double team back on Michael quickly is because Paxson is standing right outside. He gets a great look, knocks it down from short range.
Portland has taken its final timeout.
You can jab him in the ribs. You can try to turn him over. You can put a pillow over his head. But nothing will stop that awful snoring.
Snoring can even ruin a romantic cruise. Hi, I'm Bernie Coppell, and I have something that will solve your snoring problems once and for all, guaranteed. This amazing product is called D-Snore. It's a unique new formula in the form of a spray. That's right, it's a spray. Just spray D-Snore on the upper part of your throat. It works instantly to moisten the membranes of your soft palate and allow free and easy breathing. You'll sleep without snoring all night long. D-Snore will work for you, too. It's guaranteed. If you snore or have a loved one that snores, get D-Snore. It's just what the doctor ordered.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-510-8593 to order D-Snore. Stop snoring. Call right now, 1-800-510-8593.
History repeats itself in the greatest event of the year. Ali versus Frazier 4, the next generation. All the bad blood ready to be spilled. Lila Ali wants to define once and for all who is the best. Jackie Frazier promises to come out smoking. Friday, June 8th at the Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York. 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live on pay-per-view.
Watching classic Michael Jordan, 19 hours of Jordan's greatest games and moments featuring highlights, analysis, and all 6 of his NBA championships right here on ESPN Classic.
Chicago has outscored Portland 29-10. Here in the fourth quarter as they've come back from a 17-point deficit. In the history of the NBA Finals, the largest lead at the end of 3 quarters with a team coming from behind to win was 12. The San Francisco Warriors trailed Philadelphia 96-84 back in April of 1967. And San Francisco came back to win the game. Chicago trailed by 15, 79-64, going to this fourth quarter.
Now, I mentioned before about Jerome Kersey. His last score was with 5:22 left in the third quarter. He has 22 points at that time and still has 22.
Here's Drexler, rejected by Williams, but a foul is called. Michael Jordan called for the foul, and Clyde Drexler will go to the line.
The Chicago defense is a suffocating defense. When you make a move on the interior, they always have people there to challenge. Williams' block was good. The foul was called on the way up on Michael Jordan.
Drexler 6 of 6 from the line. He has 23 points, and the Blazers 18 of 18 from the free throw line. The Bulls by 3. 1:31 to go in the fourth. It's a 2-point lead. Portland has used all its timeouts. Ames staying with Pippen in the backcourt.
You dig in now defensively, you must get a stop. There's plenty of time in the basketball game for Portland to come back, tie it, and take the lead.
Shot clock at 10. And a hold on Drexler. That is his fifth. And it is a non-shooting foul.
Clyde, realizing that they have a foul to give before it becomes bonus, takes one outside before Michael can turn the corner.
1:13 remaining in the fourth. Bulls get the new 24. Both teams have 4 team fouls.
They've been isolating Michael on that left side of the floor. Here's where he knocked down the jump over Clyde last time.
Scott Williams takes the shot. That is not what the Bulls had in mind. Crossword. And it's called a jump ball. Drexler thought he was fouled.
Well, you had Chicago who wanted an offensive foul call. Portland wanted the foul call. Both players had established their position. Williams was under the rim. You're not going to get a charge in the NBA that close to the rim. Drexler wanted the call on the rotating Grant, hitting him on the right side.
49 seconds remaining fourth quarter. The Bulls 93, the Blazers 91.
Grant will try and drop it between Jordan and Williams on a safety tap right here if he can get it.
Mike Mathis attempting to line them up. And the call is Portland ball, deflected out by Chicago. And Rush conferring with Hugh Evans, who had another angle, and they've changed the call. The ball goes to Chicago.
Well, Buck gets it in there late, and it's Clyde who sticks that right hand up and touches Clyde's hands, evidently, on the way out of bounds.
The Bulls with the ball and a 2-point lead.
You don't foul now. You dig in and get a stop.
Here's Jordan. The Bulls 95, the Blazers 91. Drexler for 3. Kept alive by Kersey. And the foul is called. It's on Pippen. Chicago over the limit.
Portland never rotates over in time as Michael comes from the right side of the floor. It was an isolation created almost by happenstance. It was there. Michael took advantage of it, saw the opening, took it to the rim.
Michael Jordan coming on in the second half. He has 31. Portland is 19 for 19 from the line. Kersey on the line for the first time. Kersey, a 66% free throw shooter. Cliff Robinson checking in. Replacing Danny Ainge. 27 seconds to go in the fourth. The Bulls lead it by 3.
You have John Paxson boxing out Terry Porter outside the three-point line. You have Michael Jordan paying attention to Drexler so that Portland doesn't miss on purpose, and those guys come flying in. You must be 6 feet behind to give the shooter room as to where you can line up.
It's a 2-point Chicago lead. Pressure by the Blazers. Drexler playing with 5 fouls, going for the steal against Jordan. Now Jordan met by Porter. There's a 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. And now the foul given by Porter.
See, they have no timeouts left, so it's not like they can advance the ball to the half-court line after it. So you go for the steal in the backcourt, and then once it gets over the 10-second line, you must foul so that you
get a chance to at least come back and score. You hope that they miss their free throw opportunities.
Michael Jordan is 3 of 3 from the line. He's an 83% free throw shooter. 11 and 8/10 seconds to go in the fourth. The Bulls lead by 2. Chicago 96, Portland 93. The Blazers do not have any timeouts left.
Portland placing 2 players down the floor to try and get a quick hurry-up offense going after this free throw.
4-point Chicago lead. Drexler was checking, thought there might have been a timeout remaining. Here's Kersey for 3. Paxson with the rebound. Time running down. The Chicago Bulls have won the NBA championship for the 2nd straight season.
I can take pain, but I can't take sunscreen that runs into my eyes and stings.
Coppertone Sports Sunscreen, ultra sweat-proof.
I can take on any height. What I can't take is sunscreen that affects my grip.
Coppertone Sports, ultra dry.
I can take on any wave, but I can't take sunscreen that washes right off.
Coppertone Sport, waterproof. So no matter how you take on the sun, there's only one choice. Coppertone Sport, the #1 preferred sports sunscreen.
Want more from a sport utility? Test drive the all-wheel drive Subaru Outback. More ground clearance than a Ford Explorer Sport. More cargo space than a Jeep Cherokee. More miles per gallon than any leading midsize SUV. Add a smooth car-like ride and you have a sport utility with a whole lot more. Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon. Get financing as low as 2.9% APR on all 2001 models.
You're watching Classic Michael Jordan, 19 hours of Jordan's greatest games and moments featuring highlights, analysis, and all 6 of his NBA championships right here on ESPN Classic.
Somewhere in the bedlam of the Chicago Bulls locker room, Bob Costas surrounded by the commissioner, Jerry Krause, the general manager, the principal owner, Jerry Reinsdorf. Get up here, Phil! Phil Jackson, the coach. Go ahead, commish, with the official presentation of the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
1 is great, 2 is almost impossible. Congratulations, Chicago. It was a great series and a great year.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner, a year ago, you gave us the first trophy. I can't believe a whole year has gone by. Last year was satisfying because a great general manager did a lot of things that weren't popular and we won. But this is even better because it establishes the Bulls as one of the upper echelon teams of all time. I can't tell you how happy I am.
Jerry, a quick comment on the team you helped to build.
Just the happiest moment in many years. Oh, that feels so good for me.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Let's turn to Coach Phil Jackson. Phil.
Is it possible to evaluate which of these two championships required more of your coaching skill?
No. These players last year took it on themselves. This year, everybody had to dig it out to win. And this game tonight was typical of a team comeback, and we had to play great team ball to win.
How about the lineup you went with during a stretch where you outscored them 14-2 with Michael on the bench? Williams and Hansen, and thank you very much.
All right, Rob. Yes, it was a lineup in which we just had to get some energy out there. We were tired. Our defense wasn't stepping up. We needed some energy from their kids, and they came out and really helped us go.
I'm sure you'd like to say something about the Trailblazers. Rick Alleman was upset about the notion that either the Bulls win or lose, but the Trailblazers are kind of their foils, and tonight the Trailblazers did themselves proud.
Oh, they're a great team. There's no doubt about their team effort. They played better on the road tonight than they did at home, and you got to give them a lot of credit for that, Bob.
All right, let's go over to Scottie Pippen, who is nearby. Scottie. Whoa. Hang on, Cliff. Scottie, there had been some criticism of you not playing up to last year's form. You were big in the 7th game against the Cavaliers. You were huge, especially in the 4th quarter tonight.
But I've been always able to bounce back, and I think my teammates is a big part of that because they've always been behind me and helped me, when the critics were down on me. That's why I really appreciate this championship now. They really get a lot of critics on my back. I still got a few more months of the Olympics to deal with it, but I just appreciate my teammates being able to step forward and help me out.
Horace Grant, the nucleus of this ball club is very young, averaging around 27. I know you're basking in the celebration here, but this team could be a very, very good team for a long time.
Oh, definitely. We're a very young team, and we have some young players on here. And we just went out and took it. Yes, baby.
Bobby, a big three-pointer in the middle of the run, and then you stripped Kersey underneath. That was part of a run in which you were on the floor with some unlikely teammates in a 14-2 stretch.
That's what we prepared the whole year for, Bob, and we just hung together down 16, 17 points, and this guy carried us home, but we needed a little momentum shifter at that time. We got it with the three-pointer, and it's great to be a part of it.
Michael, you told me the other night in Portland this one would be more relief. The other one was exhilaration. You still feel the same?
It is, man. It's just so gratifying for me personally. I went through a lot of hard times this year, but I stayed strong. Everybody supported me. We played well today. I'm glad for Bobby Hansen. He's the only guy that didn't have it. I'm glad for him.
There were stretches in the playoffs where you had to carry your team. You were the high scorer again tonight, but you got help, especially from Scottie.
Everybody contributed. Scottie was a real big emphasis in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and I had a rough first half, but these guys carried us, and I was able to get in there in the 4th quarter and help pull it through. So it was a good team effort.